Hello everybody. This is the first lecture in semester 2 and this is week 20. Today we are going to start with the first grammar lesson for this semester, which is the past simple and the past progressive. Let's look together at these two sentences. I watched the movie last night. I was watching the movie last night. The first sentence is in the past simple and the second sentence is in the past progressive. This is an overview. In this lesson, I am going to show you how to form a past simple and past progressive, when to use a past simple and past progressive, the difference between the past simple and the past progressive. First, we are going to start with the form of each of these verbs. Let's start with the past simple. In English language, we have two kinds of verbs, regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs usually end with ed. So in order to change a regular verb into the past tense, we add to it ed. For example, he worked late last night. So this is a regular verb. The second kind of verbs is the irregular verbs. These verbs have a unique past tense. They are not changed into the past by adding ed. They have a unique way in order to be changed to the past. Example, I bought a new t-shirt yesterday. Bought is the past form of the verb buy. So here we didn't add ed. We changed the verb completely. So this is the way we change the verb buy into bought. Past progressive. In past progressive, you don't have to care if the verb is a regular or an irregular verb, because in past progressive, all verbs have the same form. Was or were plus the verb plus ing. So the form of the past progressive is was or were based on the subject if it's singular or plural plus the verb plus ing. Example, he was working late last night. So was working is a past progressive verb. Irregular verbs. As we said before, irregular verbs have a unique past tense. So, in the past progressive, since there is no difference, how is the verb going to be changed to the past? We also just add was or were, use the base form of the verb and ing, like I was buying a new t-shirt when I saw her yesterday. So, to sum up, the form of the past simple is different based on the verb. If the verb is regular, then the form of the verb is the verb plus ed, like for example, worked. In irregular verbs, the verb is changed completely because these verbs have a unique past tense. For example, buy, bought. The past progressive has one form in both regular and irregular verbs. Was or were plus the verb plus ing. Let's now move to the uses of the past simple. Of course, you are wondering now, why do we use the past simple? Or when do we use this tense? There are three main uses of the past simple. First, the past simple is used to express completed actions in the past. When I say completed actions, It means actions that are done already and finished in the past. For example, he broke his tooth last week. So this happened and was completed and finished last week. Peter cooked dinner last night. So cooked is a simple past verb, and this expresses an action that was completed last night. The second use of the past simple tense is habits in the past. When we say habits in the past, it means things or actions that you used to do a very long time ago. Example, Peter played the piano when he was a child. So this is an old habit. When he was a child, he used to play the piano. He studied Spanish when he was a student. So this is also another example which shows a certain action that already happened in the past. The third use of the past simple tense is a series of completed actions. Completed actions means actions that already happened in the past. But series of completed actions means more than one action happening one after the other in the form of a series. He sat down, comma, took out a notebook and a pen, comma, and started taking notes. So here we have three actions: sat down, took off, and started. So this is a series of completed actions. In the second example, he made breakfast, comma, drove his son to school, comma, and went to work. So here also we have a series of completed actions: made, drove, and went. So these are the three main uses of the past simple tense. Now we are going to explain the spelling rules to change to the past simple tense. First, we are going to start with one-syllable verbs, consonant-vowel consonant verbs such as fit. Fit is a one-syllable word. It's a CVC word, means consonant-vowel consonant. So in order to change this to the past, we have to double the last consonant. Words that have two syllables, CVC, if the last syllable is stressed, double the last consonant, like refer, referred, occur, occurred. If the last syllable is not stressed, don't double the last consonant, like travel, traveled, and listen, listened. Verbs that end with vowel, vowel, consonant, do not double the last consonant, like conceal, concealed, reveal, revealed, crawl, crawled. Verbs ending with E, just add D. For example, decide, decided. Verbs ending with double E, just add D, like agree, agreed. Irregular verbs, as we said before, have to be studied since they do not follow any rule. They have a unique past form. Now we move to the affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms of the past simple. In the affirmative form, let's look at the example. They were friends. In the negative form, they weren't friends. In the interrogative form, which is the question form, were they friends? So I'm asking, this is if the verb is a verb to be. So if it is was or were. Now if we have a verb, an action verb, I start with the affirmative form. She worked yesterday. The negative form, she did not or didn't work yesterday. We add did here because we do not have a helping verb in the sentence, so we add the verb did. I always start my question in the simple past with did. So, did she work yesterday? Now we move to the uses of the past progressive tense. There are also three main uses of the past progressive. First, the past progressive is used to express an action that was taking time at a specific time in the past, or was taking place. I was supposed to write was taking place. So the first use of the past progressive tense is to express an action that was taking place at a specific time in the past. For example, last night at 8 p.m. So I specified the time exactly. I was watching a documentary about child labor. Number two, it is used to express two actions that were taking place at the same time. So the past progressive is used to express two actions that were taking place exactly at the same time. For example, while my mother was getting the car started, my brother and I were putting our school books in our bags. So, my mother was getting the car started, and me and my brother were preparing our books. So, these two actions were happening at the same time. Number three, it is used to express an action that was taking place in the past when another action interrupted. So it is used to express an action that was taking place when suddenly another action interrupts this action. While they were trying to cross the road, a car zoomed past them. So they were trying, and something interrupted the action of trying to cross the road, which is that a car zoomed. So usually the action which was happening first is expressed in the past progressive, and the action which interrupted the first one is expressed in the past simple. Here are some very important notes regarding the past progressive. When, while, and as are time expressions used in the past progressive tense. So when, while, and as are used in the past progressive tense. A comma is added when the time expression appears at the beginning of the sentence. So, for example, while the staff was working on the bold new project, comma, the management was doing its best to provide all their logistical needs. So when you start your answer with your sentence with when, while, or as, you have to add a comma. Now, there's also another rule for the comma is when we add a comma between the clauses. The boy was riding the bicycle when he heard the strange noise. No comma between clauses because the time expression is not at the beginning. So, when, while, and as are time expressions used in the past progressive. When a sentence starts with while, when, or as, you have to add a comma after the first clause. The clause with the time expression when is used with the past simple tense. Here are also some very important notes. I explained this before. The action that was in progress is written in the past progressive. So the action that was happening is written in the past progressive. And the action that interrupts the other action is written in the past simple. And non-progressive verbs such as like, hate, appreciate, appear, yani these are called stative verbs, are written in the past simple and not in the ing form. For example, he was appearing very elegant at the party last night. This is wrong. He appeared very elegant at the party last night. So stative verbs are not used in the ing form. Now we move to some of the spelling rules regarding the past progressive. The CVC rules that apply for the past simple also apply for the past progressive. So if we have a one-syllable word with a consonant vowel consonant, we double the last consonant and then we add ing. Like put, putting, we doubled the T and then we added ing. Two-syllable CVC stressed, double the last consonant, like prefer, preferring. So we double the last consonant and we add ing. Words with two syllables, which are not stressed, we do not double the last consonant, as listen, listening, travel, traveling. Verbs ending with Y, leave the word as it is and just add ing, like enjoy, enjoying, study, studying. When a verb ends with E, cross it out and add ing, like smile, smiling, make, making. When a verb ends with double E, leave them and just add ing, like flee, fleeing, agree, agreeing. Please pay special attention to the form of verbs ending with ie when the I changed into the ing form, like lie and die. In this case, we cross the ie and then add ing, as you can see in the example. Now we move to the affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms of the past progressive tense. The first example is in the affirmative form. She was cooking all morning. In the negative form, she was not sleeping when he came home. In the interrogative form, was she sleeping when he came home? Or we can say she was cooking all morning. She was not cooking all morning. Was she cooking all morning? So you usually start your question with the helping verb either was or were. Complete the sentences with the past simple and the past continuous form of the verbs in brackets. Let's have a look at the sentences. As you can see, in most of these sentences we have two actions. Let's read the first sentence. I switched off the computer because it was making strange noise. So, if we start thinking about the sentence, the computer was making a strange noise, then I switched it off. So, the noisy sounds were happening first, and then I interrupted this and switched off the computer. That's why we used the simple present in switched off and the progressive in was making. My dad was listening to classical music when I arrived home. So he was listening and then I interrupted this action and arrived home. We were playing video games when my mom said, turn the volume down. So we were playing and then something interrupted the action of playing, which is when my mom said, turn the volume down. My little sister was drawing a picture while I was studying for my French exam. So here, there is no interruption. Here, there are two actions happening exactly at the same time. So I was drawing, my sister was studying, two actions happening at the same time. While they were trying to fix the computer, all the lights went off. So here also, something interrupted the action of trying fixing the computers, which is the lights went out. So that's why we used two tenses, in the first the progressive and in the second the simple past tense. Correct the one grammatical mistake in each of the following sentences. While Tom read, Emily was watching a documentary on TV. So here we have basically two actions happening at the same time. While Tom was reading, Emily was watching a documentary. Marvin came home, switched on the computer, and checked his emails. Here we have a series of actions that happened in the past. So all of these actions should be in the past simple tense. The first action is came, the second is switched, and the third is checked, not check. So we have to change check into checked. The thief sneaked into the house, stole the jewels, and left without a trace. Sneaked is correct because it's a regular verb. Stealed is wrong because it's an irregular verb. So the past form of steal is stole, not stealed. So this is the mistake. Nobody was listening while the teacher explained the tenses. Nobody was listening. No, because this is a stative verb. So nobody listened while the teacher was explaining the lesson. That was everything. Of course, we are going to explain more and more details during the live sessions. Goodbye.